quest began with a riddle. In 1,000 years, Gandahar was destroyed. 1,000 years ago, Gandahar will be saved. And what can't be avoided will be. Once I believed that our Gandahar was a perfect world. Once I believed we were innocent.
One less mirror bird to watch over our kingdom of Gandahar, killed like the others were. Who would do it, and why?
To keep us from learning what threatens us. Without the eyes of the mirror birds, we can't see what's happening at the borders of our land. I predicted this. Why have we of Gandahar neglected new technologies?
A measure of our civilization is that we prefer the organic.
It is ironic that a decision of the heart may now cost us our lives. It is vital that we act quickly. Time is of the essence.
Given the urgency of the situation, the Council has chosen our best agent to investigate.
Which one?
Sylvain.
Sylvain? But he is too young. He's much too impetuous.
I was his teacher just as I was yours. I promise you he is capable.
Surely there are more capable and more experienced agents than my son.
The Council has ruled, and you cannot change their decision. We've already summoned him.
Agent Sylvain, I understand that you're the best man for this job. The Council of Women has chosen you for a most important, difficult, and dangerous mission.
I would give my life.
Sylvain, no bravado. Keep your life. Just return to us alive. An unknown enemy menaces Gandahar. You must discover who this enemy is. What are its plans and its motives? Determine its power, its weaponry, and its methods. And if you can, probe into its secrets. Find its weakness, if it has any.
If I were younger, I'd go myself. In any case, I'm proud they've chosen you, Sylvain. You've learned quickly and well.
Exactly where are you sending me?
To the circumscribing ocean. That's where most of the mirror birds have been killed. However, one bird saw something. Possibly one of the invaders. Here's the image it was able to transmit before it died.
Can't tell anything from this image.
I'd hoped to identify the killer, but some form of high-energy radiation is interfering with the transmission. We've lived in peace so long, we've neglected the possibility of evil. And we may have forgotten how to fight it. Perhaps we've been fools in this land of ours, a fool's paradise. At the very least, we were short-sighted.
And so I set out from the city of Jasper, the perfect loyal soldier on his mission, to find the enemy's weakness. My fear was that I might discover weakness in myself.
was will be from Gandahar.
Impossible. I have never seen a being who looks like this.
Gandahar, I tell you. Gandahar, but before.
He will be alive, but very weak.
Our leader will know what to do with him. But we have to hurry.
Will be very careless to fly so far from the capital.
No, not careless. Courageous. Maybe he was sent from Jasper.
Do you think those in the capital have finally awakened to the danger?
I am Sylvain of Gandahar, a soldier, and a prisoner of the enemy.
Enemy?
Are we the enemy?
Of course you are.
Will they be always so smug in Jasper?
They certainly were when they did this to us.
Keep quiet. Now then, do you really believe we're the enemy?
I do.
Capable of conquering you?
Never.
Sylvain, can't you guess who we are?
No.
Don't you know who we are? We with these bodies, these heads, these limbs shaped all ways, and assembled without care. Come on, Sylvain.
The deformed?
Those whom Gandahar calls the deformed.
Not deformed, but wrongly formed.
The result of monstrous errors.
From the games of chance.
Watched mutants.
Sylvain, we also came from Gandahar. Once you and we were alike. But we will be victims of your scientific research into genetic mutations.
But our scientists would never...
We became an embarrassment, so you banished us underground. You buried us as you do with so many of your other failures.
As a child, I heard stories, but I never dreamed you really existed.
How could you? Nobody advertises their mistakes.
Please, forgive me for having assumed
that we are the enemy whom you seek. I forgive you, and I understand. We have not seen the enemy, the true enemy. Never. But we hear. Through the tunnels.
The ears of the earth.
Sheol.
I will be at your command.
I have chosen you to lead Sylvain out there. Until you reach the noise.
I will be ready. I am leading you into danger, Sylvain, but remember, you fight for us as well as for Gandahar.
of you say was, will be, instead of simply I am. Why?
We deformed, as you call us, are terrified of the present. When the genetic errors were first committed, we had the gift of foresight. We could see the future. Now each new generation grows even more deformed, and we have lost this gift. And in losing it, all that we have left is a double prophecy. Doubly obscure. In 1,000 years, Gandahar was destroyed and all its people killed. 1,000 years ago, Gandahar will be saved, and what can't be avoided will be.
In 1,000 years, Gandahar was destroyed. 1,000 years ago, Gandahar will be saved. Past and future as one. But what does it mean?
We don't understand it any better than you, but these words have become our saying. And the past, future, our way of speaking and believing. Will be chosen. Use your strength.
People turned to stone. What kind of technology could do this? It's madness. Don't turn me to stone. Don't steal my body. Don't steal my body.
I don't steal, but I might borrow.
The deformed. The sextra. How could we have done such a thing? Is this a dream? Where did you come from?
I'm Ariel. Who are you?
My name is Sylvain. How did you get here?
I don't know what happened, but suddenly I was changed. I had no time to feel any pain or fear. When I awoke, I was... I think I know what's happening here. It's simple. Our Soren is a female. She took one look at our prison and thought it was one of her eggs. She thinks we're her children. Poor Syl, from Ambisextra's golden boy to a Soren's hatchling. It's strange, isn't it? The metal men destroyed my village, but they spared me. Maybe this is why, so that I could be here with you on what may be the last night of my life.
I feel the same way. As if I'd been chosen, but for some purpose I don't understand. Well, I'm afraid to. Blamanor trained me well, but there's so much he didn't tell me. Nothing. Absolutely empty. No flesh, no blood. Nothing living, nothing mechanical, no gears, no circuits, nothing. And yet they're capable of killing. Strange.
Sylvain. What must have happened to us? We were picked up and stuffed into eggs like that, but not killed.
Kept prisoner for some purpose.
The light seems to absorb them. they just vanish. The prisoners who enter that door are human, but they emerge as machines.
Men of metal, our mission is a success. Our losses do not matter. Those metal men who were destroyed have served a worthy cause. We need not mourn them. Death has meaning only for contemptible beings, beings in love with the individual self. The I does not exist.
I do not exist.
The true I is we. It is we. It is we.
The true I is we. It is we. It is we.
And we are he. He, the great beginning, master of our energy and soon master of the world. We are destroying the decadent Gandahar, kingdom of waste and license. The great beginning will destroy Gandahar, for what kingdom deserves to live in peace, for mere pleasure and freedom? Before the final annihilation, our delegates will travel over the circumscribing ocean to prove our complete submission. Contact with the Master will renew our power and our strength. Hear me. Hear me. Tonight you must disconnect your faculties until we embark. Long live the Master! Our lives are his!
Long live the great beginning.
The great beginning? He sounds insane.
Insane or not, he seems serious. Great beginning. Sounds like a sort of god.
How can they still function?
We have to find some way to stop them before they become even more powerful. I don't want the complete submission to be ours. These men of metal had their orders just as I had mine. Their mindless loyalty gave them strength. I almost envied them.
We exist through your will. We carry out your orders to serve your will. The fate of Gandahar lies in your hands, and we will obey your wishes. Our attacks have been successful. we have transformed many Gandaharians and have delivered them to you in obedience.
The civilization of pleasure and freedom will soon be gone.
And now, men of metal, be ready to draw strength from the substance of the great beginning. Long live the great beginning!
He doesn't talk, but they can hear him.
Gods rarely speak.
What kind of god wants them to kill? If it knows we're here, it'll come after us. Let's go.
As we drifted, I felt as if my mind was being stripped, and every thought and memory was exposed. My training as an agent was useless now. Here in a place where I could keep no secrets.
Sylvain.
Who or what are you?
You know very well.
Are you the great beginning, the god of the metallic carcasses who idolize you?
The beginning and the ending. I am not their god, but you are right. They do idolize me, and they do believe I am their god, even though I am not.
Can a god also be a murderer?
If I were what you accuse me of being, why are you alive now? I know why you've come, yet I allow you to approach me and even insult me. Don't you find that a bit odd?
Are you or are you not the leader of the men of metal?
They believe I am.
And when they slaughter innocent people, are they not obeying your orders?
They think they have received them, and sometimes I even believe that I've given them.
And this final annihilation, are you for or against it?
I would find it physically unpleasant should the men of metal fail, yet I don't wish to see Gandahar die, and no doubt a sentimental streak on my part.
How admirable.
Yes, Sylvain, not unlike you. You could say we are cousins. I am the Metamorphosis.
Who are you?
Ariel.
So beautiful.
What's your name? Sylvain.
Ariel.
Sylvain.
Irresistible. Mysterious.
No. Help. Sylvain.
Ariel.
All I did was enter her dreams and free them, dreams which seem mostly concerned with you.
What could you know of dreams? I know exactly what you are. A metamorphosis of nothing.
I am what I am.
Then help me. You claim you're from Gandahar, yet you turn your back on us. The power of the men of metal comes from you. Use it to end the insanity.
Sylvain, do you think everything is that simple? You act as if you knew all the answers. But no, there are mysteries which even I must solve. The first being this connection between the men of metal and myself.
The connection which would make their failure physically unpleasant?
Perhaps it's an unpleasantness I might even welcome.
Why had the Metamorphosis set us free? Was he innocent as he claimed?
and the deformed, who had created and then exiled them. My mission had been to find answers, but I brought back only questions. That's the end of you.
Farewell, Amorphous Metamorphous.
I hope for good.
Far be it from me to say I told you so, but the flying beast and the brain of the men of metal consist of the same substance. The only difference seems to be the age of the cells. But the difference is enormous, incomprehensible.
Metamorphos led us to think he knew nothing. He told me, discover the connection. Metamorphos, I will tell you what the connection is. These killers, these monsters are your children, your creation.
They keep advancing. They're invincible. They don't have a single weakness.
Priority. Priority. Ambisextra and the Council to the Central Laboratory. This is an emergency. Priority. Priority. Ambisextra and the Council to the Central Laboratory. This is an emergency. Priority.
Well, Blaminor, is it good news?
I'm afraid not. I found this in our archives.
Jasper Research Department, File 276, Experiment, Biological. Codename Metamorphosis, the experimental brain. Metamorphosis is now grown at an extraordinary pace. Within a few days, its volume has almost doubled. Nevertheless, its faculties are still gravely inferior to those of a normal brain. File number 327, codename Metamorphosis. The huge size of the Metamorphosis has forced us to transport it from the laboratory onto a platform we have constructed in the circumscribing ocean. There, its cellular makeup has quadrupled. But most extraordinary is that it now has developed its own senses. Sight, touch, and still others we have never before encountered.
It's monstrous.
File number 484. For reasons of security, we must discontinue our experiments. It is impossible to determine whether this creation can be destroyed.
The researchers, then, dumped the Metamorphosis into the circumscribing ocean, and the rest is our unwelcome future. Those who created it thought they destroyed it.
Destroyed it. And meanwhile, its cells continued to grow, and now give life to the men of metal.
Gandahar, then, has worked its own destruction. Out of our ignorance and pride, we have forged a deadly enemy.
We can attack at night when they disconnect themselves.
I'm afraid that will be merely a short reprieve. The only solution is to destroy the source of power, the Metamorphosis.
Wait a minute. Why did the Metamorphosis let me return? Look, what if he really doesn't know about his connection to the men of metal? If he truly doesn't want to destroy us, we have a chance. I must see him again.
What if he won't listen?
Then I will kill him.
But how? We don't have any weapon powerful enough.
Maybe we do. I've never tested it, but if it works, one injection will be effective. I hope.
I've been waiting for you.
Monster. You're a liar. Didn't you know all along that the men of metal...
I know what you're going to say, but the men of metal are my tools. I can't answer that. But I know something you don't. They've come from the future.
I don't care where they come from. I've seen what they're capable of. They would have us all become heartless, faceless beings, bowing to a shapeless voice. I will not let them succeed.
Foolish little man. Do you want to solve the puzzle? Then put away that useless syringe and hear what I am telling you. The invasion comes from the future.
That's ridiculous. Impossible.
You dare to tell me what is impossible? You know nothing about the continuity of time, about its false perspectives, its paradoxes, its relation to space.
So Gandahar is the victim of an invasion which hasn't occurred yet? That's absurd.
While you smugly argue with what is, a different logic suggests the invasion continues from the future to the present.
It's too incredible. Show me some proof.
You've already seen the proof.
Where?
The door of time. You did not grasp its meaning.
The door of time allows people to move here from the future.
From the future and to the future. Both ways, like all doors.
And you're telling me that the prisoners inside those eggs are sent to the future? But what for, Metamorphosis? Why?
Unfortunately, I do not yet know the answer to that question.
How conveniently you claim ignorance.
You should be familiar with ignorance. Look here, Sylvain. I wanted this meeting as much as you.
How do I know this isn't a trap?
It will become a trap for all eternity if you refuse to trust me. I cannot bear the idea of ruling a world consisting solely of an army of killers. I want it to be you that will overcome me, stop me, kill me. But in 1,000 years.
Well, why not right now?
It takes time to get ready for death. And you're not capable of killing me now. I'm not vulnerable. Not yet. Come back in 1,000 years.
1,000 years? Don't you think I'll be a little old for battle?
During the next 1,000 years, you will go into a long sleep at the bottom of the ocean. On the appointed day, at the appointed hour, you will awake, just as you are today, strong and determined. You will try to conquer a Metamorphosis who has grown old. If you succeed, will Gandahar not be saved?
But if I fail, I'll be a prisoner of the future, exiled from my time, separated from those I love.
A mere occupational hazard, I'm afraid. But you may have the opportunity to return to the present. There is always the door of time. The door of time.
Still no news from Sylvain?
We have lost all contact.
The Council considers Sylvain's mission a failure.
This decision affects all of Gandahar. I'd like to give it more time.
I urge you to take action.
Not yet. Is there any proof that Sylvain has failed? Is there?
If he'd succeeded, the Men of Metal would have stopped their invasion.
It's not that simple. Syl, you must hurry. They won't wait much longer.
Will we allow ourselves to be destroyed by these men of metal? We must try to fight back. We must try to win.
Win what? Our war will be inside ourselves. Forever. We cannot win.
We cannot go to death without a struggle.
I understand. It is our bodies, not our wills, that are deformed. We have greater powers than they imagine. But I fear not for long. A pity our strengths have their limits.
Our powers could aid Jasper.
Jasper has never helped us.
Jasper, they buried us here so they would not have to think of us. They don't even speak our name.
What we never forgot, they'll remember now. That we always were, and will be Gandaharian.
Jasper Historical Archives, entry code Blaminor. We are without food and water. The siege is almost over. Yet the bravery and compassion of my people is magnificent. It is ironic that we shall never have a chance to correct the scientific irresponsibility of our past. I expect this will be my final entry.
Lead us away to a distant refuge. Lead us to the peace we sought here. Farewell, Gandahar. Farewell, Sylvain.
In 1,000 years, Gandahar was destroyed and all its people massacred. 1,000 years ago, Gandahar will be saved, and what can't be avoided will be.
I had accomplished nothing. I had understood nothing. And I awoke with nothing to believe in but the word of my enemy and his promise of a battle to the death. That thought armed my revenge. I am here, Metamorphosis. Have 1,000 years passed? Have I awakened at the appointed hour on the appointed day as you told me I would? I'm here to carry out your special request.
What do you want?
You will be Gandaharian?
I will be. You will be my friends.
Sylvain of Gandahar. I know you, don't I?
1,000 years ago? Could it be we met 1,000 years ago? What has happened?
A 1,000 years or one day. It will be the same once you pass through the door of time. The stone-forming ray, the egg prisons for the living. Then the living transformed into the unliving. They sorted us when we arrived. The normal to one side, the monsters to the other. We monsters for once were the lucky ones. We will be of no use to them. They rejected us just as in Jasper. Once again relegated to the underworld.
And what about the others?
You mean those who had normal bodies and faces?
My own people.
For once they regretted not being the same as we.
Were they killed? All of them?
They suffered the worst. I cannot bear telling you.
But I must know. I have to know everything so I can stop it all. Where are we?
The city of the men of metal.
Once the only thing that surrounded the Metamorphosis was the ocean. Now everything is covered by machines, just as Blamenor predicted. Only the door of time remains just as it was.
That generator robs Gandaharians of their livingness and sends their energy to the Metamorphosis to keep him alive.
I have to know everything that happened here. It's the only way I can prevent it from ever happening. I have to understand even this.
There is no understanding. So horrific, and such an absurdity.
But to the Metamorphosis, this horror is somehow necessary. If 1,000 years have passed, perhaps his cells no longer reproduce.
He must need fresh cells from others in order to survive. And the stone-forming ray, the egg prisons, the door of time,
they're all part of a system to preserve those cells.
They remain intact until needed.
So you see, the men of metal go through the door of time to invade the past, to attack and destroy Gandahar. All this is the work of the Metamorphosis.
And what will you do if this Metamorphosis will be now a machine, like all things here?
Everything has a beginning and an ending, even machines.
Our special powers will be able to tell us.
I wonder if some of these stolen cells of the Metamorphosis haven't died. Or have become fossilized by some strange aberration.
Our people know all about aberration.
The cells hardened, so the Metamorphosis hardened with age. This is why he wanted me to kill him. He foresaw this.
He wanted you to kill him, but does he still? What if he says he never made this agreement?
We have no other choice.
You will be the first of your kind to befriend us. We will help you. We must first cut off the energy supply from the generator. Without that, he will be weak.
office. He's waiting for me.
Should I accompany you?
No, it's a personal matter. He asked me to kill him. Metamorphosis. Now are you ready to die?
Your task is impossible. We mustn't rejoice too soon. These old cells of mine will be replaced by fresh ones, on through infinity, eternity.
You must kill for eternity. You've become what you told me you feared the most.
That's a very practical system.
You once said, I want you to overcome me in 1,000 years.
I never made such a ridiculous statement.
Has time robbed you of your memory?
Time has changed. Nothing.
I've come to kill you. At the special request of a metamorphosis who once was lucid.
All the wisdom of Jasper in that tiny syringe. Remember, I too am the product of their research. Let's see if that needle works. Why not try it on yourself? What an abrupt stillness. How still. Silence. Finally silence. Fatigue. A long sleep. No more pain. Attention, men of metal. Destroy the door of time. Do as I order. Why is the pain returning? Everything is is in disorder. Pride is evil. No. Please don't leave me. Don't abandon me. I too am from Gandahar. Help me. Wait for me.
What good is it to have killed the Metamorphos? Gandahar's in ruins. Are my people turned to stone? Lost somewhere in the future.
What can't be avoided.
Yes. The prophecy. The future returns.
A 1,000 years ago, Gandahar will be saved, and what can't be avoided will be.